Game on, everybody! Divine Vendetta against LFT, and we're another best of 5 series here in Division S. Today without the draft, because unfortunately there were 2 games that were played at the exact same time, so we had to choose one of them. And now we're going through the replays of this series. Again, I haven't watched the replays, we're missing out on the draft unfortunately, but I don't know the result here, I don't know how all of that ended, so it's as new to me as to you guys. So yeah, let's go through it. We have on the left side Divine Vendetta with Death Knight on Dehaka, Martin on Malfurion, Smaragd on Junkrat, Bone on ETC, and Slake on Tracer. The cavalry is back. And on the right side, the French team, the Baguettes, with Masquerade on Anubarak, Dequaza on Leo, Banana H on Tyrande, Topos on Jaina, and Kolios on Zeratul. Alright, time to shine. Dequaza again riding in style here. There's only, it's actually not quite 2. There's a couple of skins that are amazing for Leo, but the Janitor is definitely one of the best. So they have a good old Zeratul and Jaina composition for the Wombo combo in level 10, but they also have a second approach to this setup with their immediate engage through Anubarak plus the Tyrande stun and then the burst damage from Topos Jaina. There's definitely a couple of tools for them. Death Knight at the top lane has already suffered quite a bit of damage through the double setup that we're seeing here. And both of the teams are already moving aggressively across the map here, trying to jump from A to B and see if they can maybe get an early kill here. Camps are now spawning on the map, and that should put a focus onto the bot lane, where we're going to see those 2 pumpkin camps attacked any second. But yeah, it should be an interesting one. I mean, LFT was always a bit of a mixed bag in this season, but they are really coming back into their own recently. And again, Masquerade on the side here, already prepping with that stun. And it seems like we have a full-on invade here. Dehaka can of course move in, but that's going to be a 5 versus 5. They go full risk here. They go full Leroy Jenkins in this one. Maybe not. It was a bit of a threat from them to just say, okay, we are willing to fight for this, but at the end of the day, LFT just called the bluff and said, hey, we're there, we're gonna try and take that right now, so that's what they're currently attempting to do. Camp taken, other side we see the exact same thing, so a little bit of a slow start here with this. Dequaza up at the top side, cleaning the trash out, taking those minions down and riding the Sopa. I'm still on the opinion that he should, honestly, the Sopa should be limited to Leoric. That needs to be the one that can really deal with all of that. And in the meantime, we're actually having, again, the engage build on the side of Anubarak as he goes straight into the Underking. Subterranean Shield probably going to come in soon. Masquerade zoning there at the front, but needs to be, of course, careful. There's still, yep, that power slide into a root, and Masquerade moves out. Just as the grenade comes through and Banana H is all of a sudden in trouble. Slake is trying to take him apart with the help of Junkrat, but it's not happening just yet. Zeratul, in the meantime, is moving through the middle, and this is experience that's lost to them. Yeah, that EXP is actually lost to Divine Vendetta. Now, they get a bit of counter value through the structures that they just destroyed at the bot lane, but still, they are falling behind. You look at the XP and you quickly realize that they are by now half a level behind, and partly because of those Zeratul rotations into the middle. So LFT is starting to take a solid lead when it comes to experience. Slake going up against Kolios here, so it's the Tracer Zeratul setup that we have. In the meantime, the focus is obviously on the bottom shrine here. Oh, Masquerade is dead. No way! Oh, wow. Banana H keeping him alive, the shield coming out too, but damn son, that looked like a 100% kill. Like, how the hell did he survive that? Double channel still on the side of Divine Vendetta. Yes, there's Death Knight channeling the second one, so they get the lead, but I could have sworn that we would see a kill against Anubarak, and instead he actually survives through that. Not bad, son. But yeah, as it stands, we're gonna have the earlier level 7 talent for LFT, and Divine Vendetta currently obviously trying to hold on to that lead a little bit more, but you can already see that Zeratul is still sitting in the mid lane, and this time Junkrat gets forced to meet that pressure and is already there, and immediately Masquerade is starting to sniff that out and saying like, we might be able to do something here. Problem is that, yep, the blue team has the same thought process and they are wrecking Jaina. That's the first blood right there. Jaina gets eliminated, and that was a good slide, a root, and then the kill. And with that said, we're now also having still a bit of top pressure between our 2 laners, and an invader on the camp again. Subterranean Shield, as already mentioned earlier, has now been taken. Malfurion so far not claiming his level 7, and I mean, seriously, what else are you gonna take? Against that setup in particular, I mean, Nature's Cure is kind of must-have. Now, I've said this in previous series, and I want to say this again. When you look at a team like LFT, obviously they have a bit of an early game kill condition, for sure, but they also have that setup around level 10, where the main focus is gonna lie, with a Void Prison setup into a ring that they can execute here. So level 10 is going to make them incredibly dangerous, and this is one of the things that I still expect to see quite a bit from them once that we're having their heroics in play. But for the time being, we have a double shrine, a double altar on the map, and this one should still completely play out without the objective, without the level 10 ability coming into the equation at all. Masquerade! Don't tell. No! The Beetle is unkillable. Alright, Masquerade is from now on officially titled the Cockroach. You can't kill him, and if you kill him, he always comes back with more. That's pretty much what happens here. So yeah, Masquerade escapes again, and there's the channel for Divine Vendetta. They are starting to take a solid lead here. I mean, it's 28 against 36. If now the second one down here at the bottom is also claimed, that would be a bit of a problem for LFT. Again, the big power spike comes on 10, but still, Leo is in trouble, and that's another kill. Divine Vendetta taking 2 kills against 0, and are about to take another altar. Damn, LFT, they are having some trouble here. Well, here come the shots again, and that's now 24 against 36. Now, I can't stress enough that I'm still waiting for the level 10 abilities to make an appearance here to see how those mid-game fights will end once that Jaina has the Ring of Frost and Zeratul has the Void Prison. But I mean, for the time being in this early game, we're seeing Divine Vendetta with a nice amount of momentum here. They're 12 points on the core ahead. And now the Haka at least gets attacked here. Nice dodge on the stun, well played. The last one connects from Banana Age, but that doesn't really do a whole lot more than adding an additional stack to Banana Age's level 4 talent. By now we have level 10 abilities, and we see Mosh Pit. And this is actually a moment where we could have seen that maybe coming through. Ring of Frost, and there's the Void Prison. It's time to shine, baby. If there was ever a moment when LFT has to prove that they can execute a wombo combo, then it's now, because they are already falling behind in this game. But that said, we're having with this also, next to the Mosh Pit, also obviously the isolation. Born still a little bit alone here. Down at the bottom of the map, on the other hand, he has the engage again against Martin. Masquerade cut it short since he realized that they won't be able to put him under serious pressure. Didn't want to end up underneath the towers where there could be a potential turnaround against him. So disengages from the fight, and now we have another pumpkin camp taken. 28 seconds for the next altar, and that's a single altar in the game. That's going to be a big focus with a team fight on this one. That's a good opportunity to drop that VP. They're already making the play for ETC here, and Born moves out of harm's way. That's a close call still. Martin with a full-on heals here the entire time. But now with another 8 seconds left, we already have LFT sitting there with everything set up properly. The anchor on Anuburak with a good stun already. Currently Tobos, the one channeling. Kolis is looking for the setup. There comes Martin, and they're going for Malfurion, and he is about to get wrecked here. Keeps himself alive for a little bit longer. The VP is in the backline already. Ring of Frost so far hasn't actually been used, and Martin is still alive. Instead, Masquerade gets wrecked, and that's the 3rd kill. The Ring of Frost, a bit random here in the middle, but still connects with ETC. And Born, oh my god, gets dropped. Born goes down. Kolios, on the other hand, is also eliminated as Tracer goes in deep for the kill. Quasar tries to apply another slow. And talking slows, one is hitting the Haka, but it's just a moment too late and the shots are still fired. 36 against 20. Damn, that didn't work out as intended. It all started with the Entomb, and they tried to follow it up with a kill against Malfurion. That never happened. Then we have the VP in the back to isolate them a bit. The Ring of Frost never used for any of the two. It really felt that Jaina was a bit too hesitant here. Tobos didn't want to drop the Ring of Frost on the Entomb on Malfurion, had also a problem getting close. Then the Void Prison only hits one, didn't want to use it there either, and then only drops it when he himself gets attacked and is under pressure. It still led to the kill against ETC though. He was the only one that got hit, but that led to the kill at least. So with that, right now we're having again kill lead with 4 against 1. There's a Cocoon on the ground. Born needs to be careful. Wanted to go for the mosh pit. Couldn't get that through. And dies again. There's the kill against them, but the counter kill against Tyrande. Tyrande down, and still the pressure against the Nuburak as Masquerade is trying to save his ass. Death Knight is already sitting there, was looking for the dragon, couldn't find it there. But there's the 13 now. A little bit quicker for Divine Vendetta. They're looking strong at this point. 36 points against 20, that isn't too bad. So from a perspective of the objective, from the map objective, they're doing pretty well here. But either way, at this point, we're having a double altar. And that's usually the time when you're having a trade. 1 for 1, top left, top right. It's usually what happens there. Normally not contested. The pumpkins are moving through. It's always a bit of an unfortunate situation when you have the turrets already so low, or the towers, and then one pumpkin sacrificed for each one of them. Feels a little bit bad. Feels like all of the work that you've pulled off to just get those is a bit of a problem. Either way, at this point, there's another chance to get the channel through. Banana Age is already sitting at the side. And we're seeing Death Knight and Martin also commit to a channel as well. So as expected, it is the quick trade on both sides here. Nothing insane. There's a couple of shots fired. There we have the same thing, one after another. And so far, so good. 16 against 32. It's getting problematic for the LFT. Well, there's the VP on the other hand. Okay. Where's Jaina? She's way too far out, but they still might get the kill. And there's the ring! And it connects with Dehaka, who moves into it. Malfurion is already dead. They're going for Tracer. Slake is low, but gets away. The owl misses him too. And Slake is moving out of this. But they got the kill against Malfurion, at least. Honestly, it's a little bit annoying here for Tobos, I feel like. Every single time there's something set up that he could capitalize on, he's just too far out and can't really move into range in order to make it happen. But now there's momentum for the red team. The Baguettes are moving through and are trying to move straight down to the bottom bell tower to claim this one. Divine Vendetta, on the other hand, is obviously in full defense mode here. Born with the engage against Zeratul, immediately Masquerade with a counter-aggression, trying to punish him for the move, but Born is able to dodge out on the stun. And they had an experience. It's honestly on Towers of Doom always like this little back and forth that you have there, with one team just starting to get farther and farther ahead when it comes to points on the core, and the other team is starting to claim a bit of momentum through experience. Born again gets attacked here, but dodges out on a lot of the damage that Tobos is currently delivering. The camp has been taken too, and this is a triple altar phase right now. So with the triple altar at this point starting to jump in, let's see who is taking 2 of them. Always assuming that nobody is able to take 3. That would be a little bit surprising. Mass stun amount against Born. There's the ult now too, as we're seeing Martin just playing it safe and dropping his ult on this one. Exchange up at the top, as kind of expected. 1-1 in the setup, and down to the bottom of the map, the third one being fought over now. And we have LFT down to 12 points on the core. Yeah, dropping a lot of hit points on that thing. Dehaka moves in, Leo isn't quite there, but the drag doesn't connect. The Riptide does not do enough damage to Tobos to threaten him. And there's the Ring of Frost. The Ring of Frost is in, only connects with Dehaka though. And they're already attempting to get the kills here. 16 on both sides, but Tracer is dead, and that's a horrible start for Divine Vendetta. They still have Junkrat, and they're trying to get the channel, but everybody is already in full retreat as the play for Smaragd is being made. Stun after stun connects. ETC provides some space with a quick face melt and is able to push them back here. Dehaka has already resigned himself to the situation and moved straight towards the top. Leo following suit to meet the rotation here. But the channel is happening at the bottom of the map, and now we're seeing the core drop down to 24. Still doubling the points here. Experience slightly ahead now for LFT, and the damage keeps coming against the bottom bell tower. They're trying to build the momentum up. They're also having on 16 now the Numbing Blast. Epicenter. A lot of control. Zeratul himself, obviously, with now also the Void Slash. Again, the sleight of hand on Tracer. Up to the top. Still our 1 versus 1 by Quasar. Actually getting murdered a bit here, but Masquerade is about to get his quest completed, so the extra 500 hit points is going to make the play for him a lot safer. And let's see. They got the bell tower, so now they have to try and hold on to it, and ideally obviously take also the pumpkin camps here. Up to the top, still the fight between the 2 solo laners, but it's pretty even battle at this point. Zeratul catches the experience over here. Good attempt from Tracer to push those in. but so far negated. 5 kills against 4, 17, nearly 18 for LFT. They're still holding on to this. No fights just yet. Now everybody's waiting for the next altar to be announced, and that's actually a bot lane altar. That's a bit of a problem for the blue team, because if that bell tower isn't reconverted, they will have trouble moving straight in and taking it. They might actually have to give it up. Masquerade gets the quest completed. That's already a big win for him. But yeah, altar is spawning in 27. And again, you can't get here if you don't retake that bell tower. The only angle is from the top, and it means that you don't have any retreat points when you're trying to escape. If you end up in a fight that you can't win and you realize it, even if you're trying to run away, you have to go through that bell tower. So it's not a spot that you want to be in. And now we have 6 pumpkins moving through too. It's a horrible situation for Divine Vendetta to be in right now. They are way ahead when it comes to points in the core, but that could change quickly, as the game is currently in the hands of LFT from a momentum's perspective. Most of those pumpkins already taken out, but obviously the channel at the bottom should happen soon. Leo is starting to make his way over to exactly that spot to get those 5 shots converted, and then we have 19 against 12, so they will get a bit closer to this. Yep, the shots get fired. There we go. 5 down, 19 to 12 at this point. Still a bit of a battle here in the middle. And it's up to Divine Vendetta now. They are in a position where they have to make the play for the bell tower. They have to try and push this one out. They have also the global, obviously, which they can still use and have already tried to put to use in basically all of the fights. He's trying to get the experience for them. But that discrepancy between the two teams in XP is starting to become an issue, since level 20 is obviously going to provide LFT with another chance to win the next 2 altars. And maybe even go for boss. So, yeah, need to be careful. Slake is at least taking some of the towers down and is already rotating away. Looking at the damage output from the two teams, we have now 38,000 from Jaina, 34,000 from Junkrat, and, well, Tracer doesn't look too bad either, 31k for her. But the game has definitely calmed down a little bit from an aggression's perspective. Ever since this bell tower was taken, it's tricky for Divine Vendetta to just come close. You see how Smaragd is always attempting it close enough to get a few grenades in, but every time he moves forward, there's always an Anubarak meeting him, and also, of course, that Jaina, which is another concern, thanks to the numbing blast that we're having on level 16. If you move a little bit too far out, you might get punished right there. Also talking about punished, as the stuns already coming in. They're poking this slowly, but it's 28 seconds until the next 2 altars are up. And that's the big question. How do you play around that? 20 is there. Buried Alive is now ready. We're having also the Ice Blade arrows again. We're having Rewind, Ice Blink, Shadow Mending. But it's all about, obviously, the ult on the Oryx side. And the stuns keep coming. I mean, the stuns on Tyrande just keep coming reliably the entire time here. And now we're having Leo already moving down to the bottom. They're trying to drop Divine Vendetta down to 9 points on the core. And I do not see them respond in any way to that. Not without level 20. And there it is. That's 10 shots fired right there. That's 10 shots, and all of a sudden the entire situation has changed. Boom. 12 against 9. All of a sudden, they're behind. Talents are identical right now, but there's still the bell tower control at the bottom of the map. There's still the situation where for Divine Vendetta it just seems incredibly difficult to break through and try to reclaim those bell towers. They're trying to make a play now for the camp here so that they can at least use those. But Dehaka will have to move in if they really want to do that. And currently he's busying himself at the top lane, trying to get some value here and maybe even get a bell tower for themselves. Born is there, looks for the mosh pit, a good one, might do it. And there's the mosh insta-interrupted, and Born himself in trouble. And he's about to fall here, gets dropped by Jaina. And that's not the only one. The Death Mosh, on the other hand, it just doesn't do too much here. And now they're turning it around with another potential kill against Dehaka, as he's already low. There's the Entomb as well, the Void Prison, and they're following it up with another nice move from Anubarak as he moves in with the Epicenter. And that's 3 heroes down now as Tracer and Dehaka die as well. There's already single digits on the core for Divine Vendetta, and now we're seeing some of the pumpkins moving through too. Double shot already fired. We're looking at 6. It was a triple even, and they try to get the kill against Martin that they barely fail. Masquerade! A little bit too YOLO for a moment nearly, but as a single altar spawns on the map and will be ready in 20 seconds, you can imagine how this game is likely gonna go right now. 30 seconds for Tracer and Dehaka to come back, and that's just not enough time. It would take an absolute miracle for Divine Vendetta to turn the game around here, considering how long or how big those death timers still are. Anubis already moving over. There's nobody going for an interrupt. There's just no chance, and with those 5 shots fired, the kill against Junkrat wasn't even needed. And this is going to be game. They're still fighting around here, but obviously the game is over as LFT takes the victory on map number 1 in this best of 5 series against Divine Vendetta. Game number 2, Divine Vendetta against LFT, and the French team is in the lead now. We are on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and on the left side we see the Chromie played by Smaragd. Alright, Martma Malfurion, Death Knight on Urel, Born on Johanna, and Slake on Junkrat. And over to the right side, LFT with Tobos Gul'dan, Masquerade. Dude, there is only one talent to be taken here on this map. On Stitches, we're having Banana H on Tyrande, Kolios on Hanzo, and Dayquaza on Blaze. Alright, let's get ready to rumble. Has been a while since I've seen the Sand Gremlin on the side of one of the teams. Blizzard obviously trying to patch Chromie quite a bit, but hasn't really worked out in her favor so far. And yes, that's my boy. Hungry for more, taken by Masquerade. Ever since Stalk did that in Meta Madness, we have seen Stitches doing pretty well on the hit point pool side on this map if he can control those globes, especially in the rotation. On the other hand, we have our little Sand Gremlin here with the Echo already trying to fire away and especially murdering Stitches at the front the entire time. So yeah, let's see how that's gonna work in the long run. A bit of a difference, by the way, again, in terms of builds, as we're seeing Gul'dan here. We've snuck a peek into the NA meta, and they really love to play around the Fell Flame talents. But in this case, it's still the Runer's Affliction on 16, and in this case, obviously, the Echo Corruption on level 1. So, down to the bottom of the map, Urel against Dayquaza. Ooh, look at that. Dayquaza, I had no idea that you had moves like this. Oh my god, look at that. He's a party animal. He's a nice addition to any dance floor, if you ask me. That man has a lot of rhythm, and just think about it. He pulls those moves off with all that armor. That's really impressive. That's not bad at all. So, with that said, we're currently having Chromie actually with the time troubles on level 4. Masquerade is currently looking at 4 stacks. Now again, we're talking a lot about the hit point pool on Stitches whenever we talk about Hungry for More, and obviously that hit point pool can be insane. It's one of the talents that you can endlessly stack, so there's no real limit to what your hit point pool could be like. But there is one aspect that oftentimes gets forgotten a little bit. That talent gives you a movement speed as well, which pretty much means that when you have 15, 30, 45 and 60, you get an additional 5% movement speed every single time. Now, that's actually pretty cool, just in the baseline. Masquerade still trying to get those hooks connected, and Tyrande, Banana H, is following up on that every single time quite nicely. But so far they haven't really gotten that target that they're really looking for to try and get that done. But with that said, we're currently having down to the bottom of the map now. Again, our little setup between the two here. Level 4 talents are ready for everybody, not only for Chromie. And with that said, having Masquerade. Masquerade! Yeah, gets a little bit wrecked here. And hit point pool is not really big enough just yet. He's sitting at 5, so we're currently seeing an additional 150 for him in terms of hit points. Again, it's the late game that you're really thinking about here. It's not really an early game thing, but the longer the game lasts, the more unkillable you become, and that's obviously a pretty nice thing to have, especially if you're having a Chromie on the other side. At some point you can just simply look at that little sand gnome and you can just say like, girl, seriously, that tickles, stop it please. So yeah, it's not honestly anything where it's like, yeah, this is honest, this is really painful for me. But we have bronze talents now taken at this point. So actually I want to see how well this pans out. I haven't really seen too much of bronze talents here lately. At the same time also, Born at the front line, again with Johanna, going into the hold your ground on level 1, the recently changed talent in the recent patch, cooldown reduction. A little bit hefty talking about reduction. Those hit points got reduced pretty quickly for Born. Another push against Masquerade, and these stuns just don't connect. All those hooks. Yeah, they're zoning hooks. So Masquerade is playing a bit of a different style with his Stitches. He doesn't really want to connect those because they don't feel they have the damage output just yet. So instead he's just zoning out the opponent so that they have to move away from the corridor. And so they don't get hit. It's basically just trying to put the fear into the heart of your opponent. And then when it really matters, then you connect them. Kappa. Yeah, so the zoning hooks so far are not really working out for Masquerade. But yeah, it doesn't really have, not every hook has to hit. You get one good hook against Chromie later on, against Malfurion, like this one for example, and there's a follow-up and you can get the kill. But in this case, yeah, Banana H just has lost all hope. He looks at Masquerade on the Stitches and he says like, dude, first of all, you took the wrong skin. That one looks ugly. Second of all, I tried to follow it up on the first 10 hooks, but he didn't connect a single one. I don't trust you anymore. And so Stitches is gonna ask Overday Quasar pretty soon to follow it up with the jet propulsion. But yeah, so far, there's not a single kill in this game. 7 on both sides now though. And with the level 7 talents in play, we're having Stitches now also with a Blight. The Web Weavers are coming in for the red team first. And with that said, we are still waiting for Tyrande to make a little move. Hasn't really made a decision just yet. Is it going to be the Khaldorized Resistance? Is it going to be the Celestial Attunement? We'll find out. Chromie actually. A little bit of trouble here. And we'll see. I mean, generally speaking, I'm also a bit curious, just in that regard, what we're going to get on level 10 for Chromie. Is it going to be the Shifting Sands or the Temporal Loop? And Chromie is holding that back for now, as does Tyrande. Both of them playing a little bit of a game of chicken here. Now, it's a little bit old school. That setup where you wait for your opponent to pick the talent first, so that you can make a reactive pick on your end. With that said, we're currently having also more stacks for Stitches, sitting at 11. That's 330 extra HP that he currently holds on to. And he's 4 away from gaining the 5% extra movement speed. The Web Weavers already defended into the lanes, but Mr. Blaze down at the bot lane. Yep, he wants to see the map burn, and he is putting everything on fire here. And this could actually be an entire fort. There's the Shifting Sands already used. Masquerade moves away. That fort hasn't quite fallen yet, but it's still pretty low. And there's the hook, the stun, but it doesn't connect since Iron Skin was already used. Born on the move back, still a little bit of extra damage that we see pushed through. And Masquerade just eating all of that Chromie damage up at the front. And Chromie, thanks to that, has obviously also now completed her level 1 quest. Which means that right now we are seeing the extra echo that she has. A little bit of extra damage that comes out with that. Apparently we're having Tyrande so far not double checking all of the talents yet. But keep in mind that with Johanna changed, there's actually no guarantee that there's even a Blessed Shield coming in, because we've seen a lot more Falling Sword lately. Another reason why Tyrande is currently waiting with her own talent, just because you want to know what's actually taken here. What do I have to deal with? Do I even need my Celestial Attunement, or can I just try and play around Chromie's damage output? There's the Gorge actually. Arrow comes in, hits hard, but Masquerade is nearly dead, and there's a nice ult on the side of Martin, and that's the end of Stitches as he falls. Already Blessed Shield taken. Tyrande hasn't taken anything, but there it comes, Celestial Attunement. Now that the Blessed Shield is spotted out, Celestial Attunement makes a lot of sense, and talents taken here by Tyrande immediately. But yeah, this is like an old school game of chicken that we actually had in 2015 around Prague. Was the same thing. Back then it was Tyrael that you waited for. Most of the supports had a cleanse on level 7, and they were oftentimes waiting until level 10 was in play, because Tyrael players had the choice between Sanctification or going into Judgment, and could go for both. And it oftentimes ended up with a Tyrael player holding his heroic ability too, and just picking it with hotkeys then super fast during a fight. And the support player had to mirror that behavior, so sometimes we even had level 13 talents already in, and none of the two would take their talents for exactly that reason. So that's a little bit of a throwback to those times. 1 kill against 0, so once again a tiny lead that we are having here for... Oh, yeah, that Blessed Shield did unfortunately for them not connect the way that they wanted here. So they can't set up the kill against Kholios. We have the timeout, by the way, for Chromie here on level 13. Trying to play around that, so mini ice block. And yep, down here, Slake. Alright, it was a good attempt, but he goes down. The problem is that those gems are not lost. It's still a nice fight, but the Condemned doesn't get them in range. There comes the arrow. That didn't do anything, but Martin is in trouble, gets gorged, and they're trying to move away from this. There's already the bunker on the ground. Martin again with the ult, the Quasar with the jet propulsion, and the kill against Malfurion. That's a lot of gems now in the hands of Death Knight. The hook connects, so does the stun, and that's 25 gone. Now we're talking. That's the value on the hook right there. Well played by Masquerade. 17 stacks now for him too, so he gets a bit of extra movement speed. But I think he's probably quite happy about denying all those gems to the opponent. 3 kills against 1. And they're about to get another Web Weaver wave. Especially impressive considering that they're timing this also around the bot lane there. I still gotta say, every single time I see that Stitches skin, at first I thought it would be really cool, but I really think this is one of the ugliest Stitches skins that is out there. We have Psycho Stitches, we have Swimsuit Stitches, and we also have Chef Stitches. That one, it's a hard no from me. It's a hard no. It can look pretty cool, but not in the game itself, so it's a little bit disappointing. So I'm really sorry, but I give that pick a D. And I'm being generous here. 13. And with that, we're now also having Fell Armor taken. By the way, talking stacks, we have 33 now on the level 1, so the Echo Corruption is 7 stacks away until he gets that. We're having, for now, another fort eliminated. The one at the bot lane has just fallen. The one in the middle is also getting destroyed. So from a momentum's perspective, LFT is really starting to pick it up here. A bit of an attack over to the side. Kolios is slightly in trouble, but actually the helping hand moves him just a tiny little bit over to the right, but it works out. It was a good attempt with the slowing sands here, honestly. So that was pretty sweet. Hook is again not connecting. And in the meantime, we still had Blaze and Gul'dan down at the bottom of the map, and the two of them have actually done a lot of damage. I mean, again, this started with a fort at the bot lane, still having a few hit points, and now just look at what's happening here. They're actually starting to push this forward towards the keep itself, and the keep takes damage. Not a lot, don't get me wrong, but again, it has taken damage. Jet propulsion after hook, stun comes out too, and Death Knight just sitting there is like, calm down, boys, calm down, I get it, you don't like me. It's absolutely fine. There's another owl thrown out. 13 versus 13 talents. In comes Born. They're trying to get a good flank in here. And Chromie gets actually gorged. Do they have the stun? Again, there's a timeout available. And the timeout is immediately being used. Nicely done. Good dodge here also with the bunker. At the same time, Johanna needs to be a little bit careful. So does Banana H. Gets the stun through. Chromie in trouble. And Chromie is down. Yep, the Sand Gremlin is dead. Down goes Malfurion, and that's the end of Urel, and that is a disaster. 36 gems on the side of Born, they can save those, but Slake isn't making it either. He's running away for now, but Kolios is already on the point. Slake just on the run. The problem is, he can run, but he can't hide. And it's actually the fort that gets the kill. This is like, okay, I'm done with this shit. I'm not watching that. Down he goes. With that, we're now having 7 kills against 1, and LFT is murdering it. They're doing really well here. 7 kills against 1, denying all the gems to the opponent. By now, we're having 24 stacks also for Masquerade, which puts him at, how much is that? 700 and something. Yeah, that's not a healing fountain, bro. But yeah, thanks for the info. Okay. Not quite sure why they think that Stitch is a healing fountain. Either way, Stitch is sitting at 6,500 HP at this point. And yep, on top of that, we're having now 780 extra hit points. Isn't too bad. 16 on the level points. That's pretty good damage, a pretty good hit point pool that he is currently rocking here, as you can tell. And he has an easy time getting healed up too, as obvious now also the fishing hook. And they have enough gems for another turn. And with a level 16 talent, they can easily get that. Could go boss, to be honest with you. And I want to really know, is it still a healing fountain? There we go! Nice, 810, okay. And 5% movement speed as well. Yeah. Stitches is a healing fountain. And today, in Heroes of the Storm, another bug we didn't need. But yeah, 17 on the board, and the Web Weavers, no 16 in sight for Divine Vendetta. Another hook, but no connect. Smaragd, on the other hand, was already a little bit afraid of that. Talking about damage for just a moment. Chromie is sitting at 44,000. With 40k for Gul'dan. Everybody's still jumping out of this, but once more our double setup at the top, the bot lane. The tag team. Quasar and Tobos are moving in. And starting to get that out. So, yep, there we have the entire team rotating in. Top 4 is obviously falling. Arrow connects. And Jojo, where's the hook? Oh, Death Knight. Good dodge. Good dodge, my friend. Yeah, well, the Web Weavers are taken down. The problem is the Siege Giants are still firing away, and that keep is falling. The fort at the top lane has also been destroyed, so that situation isn't getting better anytime soon. They're starting to rotate straight in towards the middle, where they're trying to drop another one. Chromie gets eaten again. Do we see the stun? And yeah, there they go. Timeout could still be there. Horrify has actually been used. You can time that out here as much as you want, but you are dead. The Sand Gremlin gets once again destroyed here. And in the meantime, with a kill against Chromie and against Junkrat, they might even think about going for the core here. Blaze doesn't even die. Blaze was about to fall, but they're turning it with another attempted kill against Urel. She barely gets out with the Ardent Defender, but the core is obviously open. And Gul'dan is already working on it. The Siege Giants are helping out with it too. Catapults are homing on the keep in the middle of the map. But that could be a quick game here. 15 minutes in, and that core is dropping hit points hard. We're seeing it down to 47 seconds until Chromie is back. And guys, not sure what to say, but that's game. That's game as LFT takes the 2-0 lead against Divine Vendetta in this best of 5 at Division S. GG, and well played. Game number 3, Alderac Pass and LFT went for an aggressive comp to say the least. Going up against Divine Vendetta here. We have Death Knight on Garrosh, Martin on Rhaegar, Smaragd on Liming, Born on Dehaka, playing the global here, and Slake on Tychus. Then again, you look over to the red team and you have not only Abathar in play with Kolioth, Banana H is playing Lucio, so we have pretty much a 1.5 support setup. And we have Quasar on Illidan with the unending hatred. Yeah, feel the hatred of 10,000 Hero League games. Tobos on Ophir and Masquerade on Muradin. But yeah, it's actually an interesting setup. I mean, we have Tychus against Muradin. We're having an Illidan Abathar setup. And that's a bit nasty. I mean, obviously, we could still expect to see the pseudo-global here with a hunt. But that's a really heavily momentum-based setup that they currently rock here. And Abathar is already going straight into a setup where he wants to go for the support of Illidan with a pressurized glance here. Late game is going to be pretty tough. It's honestly going to be a little bit nuts here. Because with this entire setup, if you have an Illidan later on level 13, for example, that has also the benefits of Abathar giving him the extra heals with the Soma transference, then that is going to be tough to deal with. Banana H, yeah, Lucio is going down again. As usual, the oversized minion bites the dust first. It's pretty much exactly what we're seeing there in nearly every single game. But yeah, with Lucio in play, you have of course the quick rotations, and one of the more important parts is that you have the sound barrier then later. I would be shocked to finally see a high 5 there. I don't think I've ever seen that talent in anything that remotely resembles competitive play. But yeah, it's all about Illidan right now, and with the help of Abathar you can obviously make a lot of plays here. Quasar at the top, it's already getting pinged. I'm not quite sure what's happening there, but I think the guys are having a lot of fun with this. Because there's definitely no reason to ping him outside of trolling him a little bit. Unless Lucio wants to have a little bit of assistance, because let's face it... What is that? That's a play straight out of Division 7, what we're seeing right now. Banana H against the camp. Okay, it can only be a matter of another minute or 2 or 3 or 5, could be 10, until we're finally seeing that camp taken. Small surprise that Illidan gets pinged. I would be kind of mad too if I would just be dancing here. That's a Division 7 play if I've ever seen one. I mean, what the hell? He takes one gnoll down and then he's like, okay, I'm needed elsewhere. It's like, okay guys, I've done it. I killed something on my own. I proved that I'm useful, and that's it. Oh, priceless. I mean, okay, so we have the rotation down to the bottom where they're trying to get a quick kill in against someone, especially, of course, with Tobos getting the assistance of Abathur himself. Illidan by now with a friend or foe. And we're having also the Thunderburn here. Muradin with a Stormbolt and the kill. Nice. Obviously, thanks to the kill, he also gets the discrepancy between the baseline and the level 1 quest. So, yep, definitely gets the value out of the two here. 6 stacks already on the baseline. Talking about that, the bigger they are, taken right now. Yeah, with that we're having the first objective up. Kill for a kill currently in the game. We're also having the Adrenal Overlord now on level 4, meaning that Illidan is obviously going to hit a little bit harder here. One of the problems that we really have is that on the other side, what are really the tools against Illidan? It's basically 2 that you rely on. You rely on the taunt from Garrosh, and you rely on Dehaka's isolation and drag. Those are the 2 heroes that will try and control Illidan as much as they can. And if they are able to pull it off, that's going to be great for them. But the problem is if Quasar at any point is able to really gain momentum and start chasing them down, they will be in trouble. And with a 2-0 lead in this series, Divine Vendetta really needs to make sure that they're controlling this now and start to take a couple of wins here in terms of maps. Because right now, LFT is just looking a little bit too strong in the series. In the game itself here, not really a whole lot has happened yet. Another problem is obviously that you can't leave Illidan alone on structures. That's something that Rich has proven with Genji and MVP Black for a long time, and here's one of the reasons why. Illidan is just absolutely going to murder this the longer you leave him alone. That's exactly what they're doing right now. Masquerade is low. There's at least the objective about to be taken. The problem is that Illidan is just still sitting at the bot lane and saying like, boys, I get value. If you can interrupt this for a little bit, that's great. But especially with Abathur being around, they might want to wait until level 10 before they really take big fights. So yeah, there's a little bit of help around. They're already starting to chomp away here. It's a big fight. Objective should still end up in the hands of them. Banana H rushes away and actually escapes here. Huh? Gets a little bit of a boop through, but gets out with 100 HP. But down here at the bot lane, as the camps are coming in, Dehaka is finally saying, okay, someone has to deal with this shit. I'm going to take care of that. And is starting to move in. Quasar obviously working on the cooldown reduction with the auto attacks here. And yeah, welcome to the problem. Illidan, as long as you don't connect those drags, is just going to murder you. Lucio gets a kill. What? Lucio actually makes himself being a little bit useful here and gets a kill there. That must have been a last hit. I mean, that must have been a last hit. Or it was a one-on-one between Tigers and Lucio, and after Lucio didn't do any damage for like a minute, Tigers laughed so hard that he killed himself. That's another option here for sure. Talking about the bot lane, by the way, we're having a 2 versus 1 now as Born is getting attacked, and that Stormbolt connects, and he connects hard, and that should be a kill. That is a kill. Yes, Dehaka is down. Quasar is now starting to rush away from Li Ming as he has to, but with that cavalry pushing in, he still needs to defend this, and he should actually not really have the biggest problem there. In the meantime, we're currently having in the mid lane still quite the pressure against the fort itself. Up at the top, the play against Orphea. Deathline nearly falling here. Tobos gets the Abathur assistance, but eventually Slake is going to get that kill. Lucio, then again, maybe with the help of Abathur? No, not even with that. Just barely jumping out before the shit hits the fan. The level 10 abilities are in on the other hand, and this is really where the party starts, because that's usually... No? There's already the sound barrier being used. But that's already the moment when we're not only having the hunt, we're having actually a Haymaker. So Masquerade going for the Playmaker moves here. But the more important part is that we now have the ultimate evolution. Now you can take those team fights. Now you can go into these fights and just say, okay guys, we can rock it from here on out and make sure that we're having the copy ready. And yeah, 15 stacks already for Illidan. So obviously he's going to work more and more on those extra damage points here for himself. Wants to have the basic attack damage too. And keep in mind, you can actually stack that even beyond that. The kill against Lucio. As Lucio gets eliminated by Li Ming. Second death, if I'm not mistaken, by Banana H. I can just imagine Banana H the entire time. Oh, the hunt! The hunt and the kill against against Garrosh. And they're actually getting the second one too. Yeah, momentum. The drill and the kill. Yeah, drill is something that they didn't see coming. Illidan on the run. Abathur is helping him out. Orphea dies. Can Quasar survive? Yes, he can survive. And not only that, he wants to go for the kill himself. They Quasar, and he's dead. 6 kills against 6. So Divine Vendetta is definitely fighting back, and they get a triple kill. Objective is also now spawning again. But yeah, we actually get the drill in. The Dragon Laser Drill. Real man drill deep. And at this point, honestly with drill, I nearly would have expected them to not go for the bigger they are against Muradin, but instead just simply try and make a play for In the Rhythm and get the extra damage out with that. But not quite. So Banana H is still dancing around here. Let's look at the count, by the way. Abathar hasn't died yet. The Slug is resilient. Having Liming also without a single death yet, but obviously we're now talking about the objective again. 24,000 damage by Orphea. Yeah, Banana H again moving away as Death Knight tries to go for the stun to drop him. Illidan is also still ready and has the ult up too, so they can go for a kill, and they're trying to at least force Born to get the essence out. Masquerade, Stormbolt connects, gets another stack together for himself here. Isn't quite ready to get the cooldown reduction yet, but sits at 21, which isn't too bad. 4 away from completing the baseline. And the quest is also completed for Illidan. Illidan is currently sitting at 40 extra damage. So, yeah, sitting there pretty good. And can stack it, of course, even further. And Abathar goes down at the top lane. Unfortunate. Slug alert as he goes down. And, yeah, joins... I don't know. I don't know what slugs do when they die. Get eaten by the French. Maybe. But yeah, objective right now gets currently taken over for a moment by Divine Vendetta. But Abathar is back. And then it's copy time. And also, obviously, another opportunity to really take that fight. 13 versus 13. And as I said before, Soma Transference, baby. That's what we're gonna go for. That's at least what I expect. There's the copy on Abathar. They're going in with the double Illidan. What's better than Illidan? Double Illidan. Ancestral on Smaragd. Ult from Orphea and the lockdown right there. In comes the quick move by Lucio as he gets a bit of value out of his own ult. And Khaldor still moving away here. Keeps the copy alive for a little bit longer. Death Knight, on the other hand, is not being kept alive for much longer, I would assume. Is about to fall, but before that we're seeing the kill against Liming as she gets haymakered into the ground. Garrosh dies too, and that's where the momentum is hitting them, and it's hitting them hard. Yep, that's the problem against Illidan. Once that he gains momentum and is able to chase you down, he is going to absolutely wreck you. It's the distance to safety that really matters the most, and in this case the bot lane fort is gone, so Illidan has an easy time chasing through that. And then the more the map opens up, the more wiggle room Illidan has to move around, chase heroes down, chase targets, body block, get Abathar in. And it is really, really annoying to go up against that. The level 13 talent with a Thunder Strike at this point, so trying to get the extra damage too. Full-on damage build that we're seeing from the Quasar right now. It's a 5 versus 5 again. Illidan has the ult up once more and hunts straight into the back line onto Slake. They're starting to make the play here. Masquerade gets taunted, needs to be careful, but the ult from Orphea saves him for now. Born forced to the front and gets taken apart as Muradin completes the baseline quest. Gets the cooldown reduction right now and the Pierce, and is already looking for it. The second kill comes through as Abathar together with Illidan is jumping in deep for Tychus. There's another Stormbolt attempt that we're seeing from Muradin. And they already have 2 down. There's no kill for Liming yet. She doesn't get the resets, therefore has a massive trouble on her hands. Again, Tobos with even more damage. Another Stormbolt doesn't connect, but the objective is grabbed anyways. Yeah, nicely played here. And Illidan, still with some value in the middle, is also about to reduce the cooldown on his own heroic ability, nearly back to 0. He's currently sitting at 10 seconds and can now reduce it up at the top. But the momentum swing is definitely there. And you look at the XP alone, and you can already tell the way this is going right now. Divine Vendetta won't have a lot of fun unless they find a way to lock Illidan down in these fights or get a quick kill against somebody else. They're already 1.5 levels behind. Level 16 talents are around for LFT. And as Illidan destroys the top lane, well, the raid isn't even there yet. So that fort is definitely going to fall. Down at the bottom of the map, they're making the play for Born. Abathar's helping out too, and that's another kill. That's an easy kill right there. Haymaker once again to secure the last hit up to the top. The fort has fallen. Down at the bottom of the map, they make the play for the keep. Up to the top, Illidan is going to do the same thing with level 16 talents in their hands. We're now seeing the adrenaline boost, so even more speed, more chase, more aggression. They're going for Muradin, but even with the taunt, it didn't really matter. They couldn't get the kill there either. And all the way up to the top, there's the drill on the ground as they're trying to get Illidan pressured. But that doesn't really matter. Slake moves in, needs to be careful, because if he moves out too far, then he's going to get dropped too. And Illidan is now shifting focus onto the mid lane a bit more. The Raiders have been taken down in the middle, in the top and the bottom. But both of the keeps have already lost their gate. So everything is just super vulnerable at this point. Illidan is sitting at 58 stacks, by the way, on his unending hatred. So his damage output is just continuing to grow. He's currently sitting at only 20,000 damage, but keep in mind that it's mostly single target damage that he provides here compared to the mages that usually depend more on AoE. And as he's really starting to home in on individual targets, that increased auto attack damage is an issue. Death Knight gets the scout at the bottom. Illidan is far away from this. Illidan is actually quite a bit away. This is a problem. This is a massive problem. And they get the boss regardless. Oh my god. Alright, so they get the boss, but they might lose a few heroes here. Instead, it's actually Death Knight who falls. Death Knight gets dropped. Illidan isn't even here. Illidan isn't even here. He's still at the top lane, and they still win the fight. Guys, this is a no fucking way. This is a 4 versus 5, and they kill them all if that continues anyway. Ancestral, unbelievable. They're killing everything here. This is honestly the worst case scenario. You're getting wiped by your opponent in a 4 versus 5 setup. 5-man team wipe against Divine Vendetta, executed by 4 heroes including Abathur, and Illidan is just doing his thing at the top lane. Siege value! And obviously the keep is down. Abathur is sitting in the middle trying to deal with the camp that has been taken by Divine Vendetta. I mean, he still has the mule that he puts to play, but this is honestly just absolute insane. That is a disaster, and that's the second keep now falling as well. It's a 3-level lead between the two already, and this is just rough. This is just rough. Both of the keeps are down. Illidan is still sitting here. He's at 62 damage, by the way, now on the auto attacks on his quest. But what an absolute brutal situation right now. Yeah, the Quasar jumps in, out, gets the assistance from the rest of the team. There's a little bit of heals as Lucio joins the fun, but obviously he can still jump over the wall here, which is exactly what he does. But yeah, the core is already taking even more damage, as we can see here. And it's nearly a 4-level lead that we are now having for LFT. The level 20 comes in now any moment. 24 stacks now on the perfect storm for Muradin. And it's wow. Coming back from that point is nearly impossible for Divine Vendetta. If they can pull that off, that would be the comeback of the ages. Muradin with massive damage output thanks to his 13 against the solo targets that he has there. He's sitting at 26,000 damage, more than Illidan even. Lucio has 25,000 damage, just as it tickles in. But yeah, the objective is up on the map again. Both of the lanes are heavily getting pressured. Illidan is just getting more and more hits together. He's sitting on 64 extra damage right now through the unending hatred. And they are just starting to go for additional kills. Illidan at this point is actually just going for camps. There's a kill against Tychus. There's a kill against Rhaegar. They're absolutely destroying them. A 3-level lead. The advantage in terms of stats alone is already insane. At least Orphea was taken out, but we're talking 18 kills against 8. And obviously we're also having the talent advantage to the Storm talent, which is another big problem. They're pushing through the middle here to already drop this. Illidan is now starting to make his way over through the middle of the map again. Quasar's just having a chill day. Nowhere to hide has now been taken too. And yeah, it's brutal. This is a brutal setup. Muradin is just absolutely destroying. We're having a bit of a focus here into the Rising Storm and Earth Shield, but there comes a quick approach. Stormbolt setup potentially. 18 hit points for Death Knight, but there's the kill as Abathur delivers the final blow. They're jumping onto Vaughn. They want to go for some rock distance to safety. Nothing. Down they go. Illidan with another kill, and now they can go for the core here, obviously. The drill on the ground, but there comes Lucio. They're trying to go for the last remaining keep in the game here as the lanes are being pushed, as the objective is on the map, and they still have the 2-3 level lead here. Illidan, look at that quick increase on the HP. The drag, at least this time, connects against him, but the guy with the blindfold is once again moving in and actually goes down. Tychus with a kill, but the problem is the keep is gone. And with all the 3 keeps eliminated, that core is just not going to make it much longer. All 3 armor shields are already just evaporated, and that means that this thing is going to be taken down easy peasy by just the waves alone that are pushing in. And Orphea is back to business as well, as we're seeing Tobo starting to push through the lanes here. And yeah, Li Ming is going to come back in a moment. They could go for the objective. They don't even do that. They're just starting to fight around here with the 4 heroes that they have. Masquerade goes down. 20 is nearly there now for Divine Vendetta, but you can see that that core is under continuous pressure now. Tobos is in trouble. Might be able to get away, and nope. Smaragd gets a kill in the reset, and they're trying to go for more. Core is getting attacked again. Li Ming gets taken down by Lucio as the core gets attacked over here. And Banana Age, with the help of Illidan, is starting to move in once more to try and see if he can maybe pull something off against Death Knight. Now that we're having level 20, we at least have Storm Talons on both sides. But yeah, 48,000 damage on Tychus, 43,000 on Li Ming, 70k on Orphea. Illidan by now is still sitting on 27. Look on the siege damage on the other hand, and you can tell where the damage went the entire time. And at this point he just says, boys, I got this, I go core. Quasar just says, don't worry guys, I got this. He goes core immediately, they jump around, and yeah, in the meantime, nobody caring about the objective. We are seeing full troll right now. They're just not even caring about the objective. They're just rushing in, rushing out, waiting for the rest to be revived. And they could easily go for the objective, or at least try to at least put a bit of pressure onto it, but nobody is even moving in that direction. Illidan has now 70 damage on the auto attacks thanks to the level 1 talent. But yeah, it's a bit bananas what we're seeing here right now. Especially since pretty much every single fort, with the exception of the one in the middle, is still in play for LFT. So they don't have any trouble here whatsoever. Myristin is finally saying, guys, I got enough of this shit. He's starting to take down every single one over here to finally take the objective and put an end to all of this. But down at the bottom of the map, we're having Banana Age still fighting. Ancestral had to be pushed out. Divine Vendetta is fighting as much as they can, but now the objective is starting to be claimed. Illidan is saying, okay, this is stupid, I'm gonna go for the core again, as he starts to move in. Yeah, followed by Smaragd, by the way. Now Born is moving in too. And Smaragd gets nearly murdered with 3 auto attacks. There's the hunt and there's the kill. That was a quick one. They Quasar on the move. Born trying to get the ult through, but that didn't work. Obviously, Tychus has now fallen as well. Myrdin is rotating in. He wants a piece of the action. Doesn't even care about this any longer. Down goes Orphea. In the meantime, Illidan is doing his thing right now. Death Knight and Martin are helping out. Full on defense that we're seeing. 14 kills against 23. Illidan had to move out again. There's a big pressure play in the middle. Abathar is already pinging and saying, like, guys, can someone please deal with this shit? And nobody is doing anything about it. So it seems like a keep might actually fall here. That core has still suffered damage, but of course it's also getting a lot of the HP back. Masquerade is back to his job and saying like, alright, I'm gonna go for the Raiders again. Need to do something here. And gets the channel out. The problem is that Death Knight and Martin are now rotating in too. Keep in the mid lane has actually fallen. At this point, I gotta be honest, I want to see LFT lose the game. That would be perfect. Not only would that give us a 4th map, but it also would be pretty hilarious. The Quasar actually dies, and Masquerade is also about to be dropped. There's the drag, and there's the kill. Myrdin is down. There's pressure here already in the middle. And again, the cores, they actually heal on this map. So all of a sudden, we're looking at 22 versus 22. Keep in mind, we had a 4-level lead earlier. 16 against 23 kills. They're going for the objective, as 2 of them still defend. And the only thing that I hear the entire time is... That game is honestly insane. Illidan is going to be back in 30. Banana Age is trying to make some plays here. Obviously, they only have 3 heroes to deal with that situation. Smaragd gets attacked again and needs the Ancestral. Martin is happy to oblige. But Banana Age is just dancing around here. Breakdance Boy is doing his thing, using the ult now to survive a little bit longer. And goes straight into the hands of Dehaka, who misses the drag. And therefore, Banana Age just rushing away. Illidan back in another 5. Lanes are still pushing. 21 minutes into the game. We're obviously having even more pressures. Oh my god, Slake nearly goes down on that end. What does the damage say? 85,000. Illidan is back. And I can't wait for the next hunt to be used. That's what we're seeing, the cooldown reduction coming in. But who's the next target? Is it going to be Liming again that gets attacked here? They're trying to go for the objective as they realize that at some point they finally need to do something about that. And Illidan is just saying, I get camps, guys. I get camps. This is easy, this is peasy, we're gonna go for the camps here, and there's a quick hunt onto the bosses. They're saying like, okay, let's get something done here. 77, by the way, the extra damage that we have on Illidan. 77. And as everybody else is fighting over the objective itself, Illidan goes for the boss together with Lulcio and Abathur. And obviously at this point, this looks pretty much like that boss alone is going to end this. I mean, keep in mind, down at the bottom of the map, this alone is already brutal enough and someone has to deal with that. So they are forced to retreat from that position. But now that the boss is taken, you should simply be able to finish through the top lane, especially since that core is already taking severe damage and Yahaka had to move back to deal with it. Over here, we have now the attack against Garrosh. Ooh, and nearly the kill, but the Haymaker actually saved him. And Illidan, yeah, there's the Ancestral. Illidan at this point is saying like, okay, this is finally, I'm finally done with this shit. I don't care what everybody else is doing. I'm gonna end the game right here, right now. Boss is already moving in, but let's make sure that this is going to be a 10,000 HP, already dropping even further. There's the boss. Tigers goes down in the mid-fight, but that's game as we have a 3-0 victory for LFT against Divine Vendetta. And a bit of a weird Aldrich pass game there towards the end. The final blow in the best of 5 against the blue team.